The economy is continuing to recover and recovering faster than forecast.
The improvement in the growth forecast and the borrowing forecast are very much in the short term, this year and next year, and then they dissipate somewhat into the medium term, very much as we predicted. The structural deficit hardly moves at all. So the public finances are no better, even though the economy is doing better in the short term.
I think this is another budget with which George Osborne has cemented the position of the Conservative Party as the party of business. He usually finds some useful tax breaks. This time around, it's a really quite generous doubling of the investment allowance to 500,000. That will mostly help small manufacturers. Rather disingenuously, he blamed the decline in manufacturing on Gordon Brown and Tony Blair. All of us who are a bit older remembered that process started with Margaret Thatcher. I think the biggest rabbit out of the hat is the abolition of the need for people to buy annuities if they're in defined contribution pension schemes. That's going to be a double-edged sword for the city. Very good, I would have said, for savings and investment companies such as Hargreaves Lansdown and St James's Place. Not half so good for big insurers, so people like L&G. The Prudential may not be quite so happy with it.
There's a very big reform of pensions happening. It's not something that really has huge implications for the public finances or for the economy, but it has huge implications for people's freedom when they have a pension in which they build up a pot. No longer age 55 or 65 or 70 are they forced to buy an annuity that's an income for the rest of your life. You'll be able to do whatever you like with the pot. So if that means you want to go and splurge it all on a cruise, go around the world, and then live off very meagre state benefits thereafter, you can do that.
From the personal finance point of view, most budgets come and go. They're pretty uneventful. Nothing much happens. We were told that there would be a potential rabbit out of a hat, and in the event there were 5 or 6 bunnies, most significant of which, of course, were the changes to pension regulations. And the government is sort of halfway through automatically enrolling every single employee in Britain into auto-enrolment and into a company-sponsored pension scheme. And these changes make that process much smoother. It's very reassuring for employees if they're being enrolled into something into which they'll be locked for 40-odd years, that they can actually do what they want with the money at the end of it. There was some interesting changes to the ISA regime. The great thing about ISAs is that they are a simple products, and every time the government has made them simpler, they have become yet more popular. And I think they've taken that process to its obvious conclusion now. So they've raised the investment limit from just over 11,000 to 15,000. They've ended the distinction between cash ISAs and stocks and shares ISAs, and they've allowed people to transfer their money freely from investments into cash and vice versa.
Manufacturing halved under the last government, with all bets on the City of London. So today we support manufacturers and back all regions of our country.
There was a lot of ballyhoo around supply-side reforms to help exports before the budget. I don't see very much meat on the bones there. They have said that they are going to double export credit guarantees to about £3 billion. In the context of UK exports of over 300 billion, that's a bit of a drop in the ocean.
George Osborne said that we don't save enough, we don't make enough, we don't export enough. The measures on all of these 3 things are, in effect, I think, quite small in aggregate. There's much more. It's very important for some people, but I don't think it will fundamentally change the way we save, export, or make things. So I doubt very much that we can say now in the future the economy is going to grow much faster than we thought it was earlier this morning.
I have never shied away from telling the British people about the difficult decisions we face. And just because things are getting better, I don't intend to do so today.
I think this is really a Tory budget. It's a budget about giving people freedom to do things that the state was essentially controlling them in the past. And it's a Tory budget where there isn't a lot of money to spend. So there's not a lot of money to give away. He couldn't give people back their own money in taxes and lower taxes very much. There's a little bit of that, but there's more in the sense of giving people more freedom to do with the money they have what they like.